Welcome to video 7. Today's video is all about deciding what type of leader you want to be. Today I'm going to take you through the 7 keys when it comes to heart-centered leadership so you can start to get to know you as a person, as a leader, and how you can start to grow and develop your skills and abilities when it comes to being a heart-centered leader. So first and foremost, I want you to think back to the day that we had in conference where I asked you to think of 2 or 3 words that would describe what type of leader that you wanted to be. And I want you to think back to those words. What were they? And have you been able to live into those and embody those as a leader? And you may think, well, Christine, that's really hard on a daily basis. And I totally get you because that's only one key component when it comes to being a heart-centered leader. So I want to take you through the rest. So today, the first and foremost, we need to get clear on your values. Our values are our own way of being, our own standard of behavior. Our values are what we deem to be important when it comes to being a leader or it comes to being a human being. So I want you to ask yourself, what do you value? What is important to you? And it may be something like integrity, honesty. It might be passion, or it could be inspiration. So some of those words that I asked you to come up with on that day at conference were most likely 1 or 2 of your values. So I would love for you to sit down and take a moment to really think about what are your top 5 values. That will really help to shape you as a leader. And then we start to think about how we can embody those values and start to instill those values in your everyday activities. The next one is all about your why. As a leader, it's so important that you spend the time to start to think about, why are you even doing this? What does leadership mean to you? And why do you want to be a great leader? When we know what our why is, the reason why we get out of bed every morning, the reason why we inspire those around us, the reason why we speak our truth and we have courage and resilience when it comes to fulfilling the vision of the business, then we are more likely to overcome any challenge that comes our way. We're more than likely to actually want to pursue further success. So understanding what your why is really important. And the reason might be that you want to get to that next stage of success. It could be that you want to be a great mum and a great role model for your kids. You might want to be remembered as a really important leader that really helped to shape the company. Your why needs to be compelling. It needs to be strong enough that when you're having a really bad day, you can check back in with your why and remind yourself why you're doing this. It's really important and it really helps to shape you as a leader. So spend some time to really think about what your why is. Number 3, the key that is really important when it comes to being a heart-centered leader is having emotional intelligence. This is a really important one because our emotions shape who we are and how we show up in the world. So are you emotionally intelligent? Now, someone who is emotionally intelligent understands and has an awareness around their emotions and what they mean. So we know when we are frustrated or angry or excited or upset or sad, right? So we start to be aware of the emotions that we're experiencing. The next key component when it comes to emotional intelligence is self-management, being able to manage your emotions in stressful times. This is really key when being a manager or a leader because your emotions impact other people. So if you are walking around, and I'm sure you've had this before, whether it's been another leader that you've worked with or whether it's been someone where you have been a team member and you've had a leader that has shown you they weren't necessarily emotionally intelligent, is when they're walking around and you know that they're angry, you know that they're upset. Right? That's when we have the self-awareness. We might know when we're angry or upset, but we don't have the self-management skills. So being able to manage our emotions around our team members is really important because as the leader, you most likely know what's happening in head office. You most likely know the key things that aren't working and what are working. And we need to be able to manage our emotions so then we present as a leader and make sure that we are showing up in the workplace as an inspiring leader, not someone who is going to bring the energy of the team down. And it's really important because your emotions will rub off on your team members. So if you are walking around upset or angry, then that will eventually start to affect the people that you are around. So really, really key. We need to have the self-awareness, we need to have the self-management, then we need to have the emotional awareness around how we can then shape our emotions to change the way that we act. And then within that emotional intelligence, we need the relationship management. So being able to manage other people's emotions. So know when a team member is presenting at work with some issues from home, or they may be upset, they may be angry, they might be frustrated, any of that. So being able to manage somebody else's emotions is really important as a leader, being able to accept and open up the conversation so then you can have the conversation about the reasons why they may be upset and then be able to shift their emotions in a positive way. So having that emotional intelligence, but also bringing compassion and empathy to the table. And the reason why I say this is because we need to have compassion when other people are showing negative emotion. And then we need to have the empathy to understand that, yes, understand why they're feeling this. I can help them bring them back to positive emotion to help support them have a really great work day. Emotional intelligence is the most important key when it comes to heart-centered leadership. The next one is working towards rewarding momentum and inspired action. So we talked about this at the conference. We talked a little bit about how we need to understand that our human behaviors are a result of the way that we feel. So when we inspire someone and we encourage them through positive emotion and then we reward momentum, it helps to spur the team on. And what I mean by that is that we want to make sure that the behavior that they're doing is congruent with what the result is that we want to achieve. So making sure that we're pointing out this specific activity, this specific action that you took was really beneficial, right? So when we start to reward the actual inspired action, it helps the team member understand that this is what you want. This is actually the result that's good, because the results are created, right, from the action. So if we focus on the action, we inspire them and we reward that momentum, we're more likely to achieve our goals much quicker. Number 5 is courage and resilience. Ooh, do we need these? We need the courage to be able to take risks. We need the courage to have those courageous conversations that are going to be uncomfortable, but we know are going to help support the team moving forward. We need to be able to have the resilience to bounce back when things go wrong. We need to be able to have the courage to help the team bounce back from those challenging times. We need to make sure that we're taking risks and working through and growing through those challenging times. We need to be willing to fail. Honestly, it's something that we often fear, but when we actually embrace that, we can start to move forward much quicker, because no action, no result has been created without some form of failure. And then the last one about welcoming feedback. This is all part of courage and resilience. We need to be open to the feedback to expand our abilities to grow. If we're not open to feedback and criticism, then it can actually keep us stuck in one place. So we want to make sure that we're welcoming that feedback and that helps to impact us as a leader in a positive way. And we get to choose how we take on feedback. So if you want to go back to video 1 when I talk a little bit more about that in depth, feel free. The next one is integrity. I believe all leaders need to have really strong integrity. And that's where we need to make sure that we are managing confidentiality. We're managing our teams in the way that we're taking on their mistakes, and that no person is a terrible employee. It's just different behaviors that we would require from them. And so being able to have the integrity to know that our team's mistakes are actually our mistakes and we need to go back and grow from that, and have the integrity to have their backs throughout those challenging times. Integrity in how we show up as a leader every single day. We need to lead by example, and that shows through being absolutely within integrity. And the last one is vision. Vision for the future. Every leader is usually some form of visionary, where we start to see the future, we can see the potential in those around us, and we can help lift those up to those levels of potential. So when I think about vision, there are some key components here. One, we want to bring the best out in people. We want to help them live into their fullest potential. And we know that by celebrating their successes, we're celebrating our own successes and the company's successes. And there is no competition. We are all part of the team. It's that collaboration, the vision for the future to bring everybody together. And we are always leading from a place of seeing the bigger picture. We want to see that long-term vision and know that we are bringing the team along with us to help support them in achieving those long-term results. And we do that by leading with love, not fear. And what I mean by that is when we're leading from a place of love, we will always be heart-centered and we'll always be warm and inviting and approachable to our team members. So when we understand our values and we live into our values, not only do we help to inspire others around us, but we then actually help to fulfill those values within those team members. And understanding the company's values will also help you support that. So what type of leader do you want to be? And which one of the 7 keys do you need to work on now? We are all growing and expanding. We all have room for improvement. So I want you to think about which ones do you need to work on. Number 1 with values, getting to know what's important to you and how you embody your values on a daily basis. Number 2 was knowing your why, having a compelling why to help support you get out of bed every morning and go after what you want. Number 3 was emotional intelligence, getting to understand your emotions and how they affect other people and how to manage other people's emotions as well. Number 4 was inspiring action and rewarding momentum. Number 5 was courage and resilience to have those difficult conversations and to take risks and embrace challenges. Number 6 was integrity, leading with integrity and leading by example. And number 6 was that vision for the future and being able to instill that passion within everybody else to work towards that future vision. So I hope this video has supported you in thinking about how you can shape yourself as a leader and start to live into the heart-centered values of leadership. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any insights, I would love to hear from you. Reach out to me on social media or send me an email, and I hope to hear from you soon. But I hope this has supported you in thinking about how you show up as a leader.